Let's talk about Terence Crawford real quick. Um, you know, Terence Crawford is a talented fighter. So is Errol Spence. But we're gonna talk about Terence Crawford. Those are some of my favorite fighters. You know, I've been watching Terence Crawford from since he was in what 100, 140 pound. I've been watching him before, but I've been watching him mainly 140 is where I started really liking Terence Crawford, man. I mean, he was a skilled fighter, a tactician. And when he was at 140, he fought, it seemed like some of the best of the best, right? So I'm assuming, he moved up to 147 because I guess he couldn't make weight or also combined with he became undisputed at 140. He had nothing else left to do there. Combined with, okay, his body's getting older. It's getting harder to make that weight. So I guess, the extra 7 pounds move up extra 7 pounds is a little easier to make that weight. So since Terence Crawford been in 147, what has he done? The certain things he's done at this division is leading me to something, and I'll explain what I mean towards the end of this video. This is not going to be long, but this is just my assumptions on Terence Crawford and what his intentions are in boxing. And I'm starting to really feel this way, and it's because of last week of Saturday night's comments he made. That's part of it. Saturday night's comments he made about the fight with Errol Spence is leading me to it as well, and some other things. Okay, he fought Jeff Horn for the WBO. That Jeff Horn took off of Manny Pacquiao. Jeff Horn, he stopped Jeff Horn. Okay, now Terence Crawford is WBO welterweight champion. I think the next fight after Jeff Horn was Jose Benavidez. He stops Jose Benavidez. Now, I'm one of those guys that I don't get into this whole thing where, this dude had he busted eye socket, so he was damaged goods and all that. I feel like this: if you're already in the ring, you training, I'm assuming you 100%. Fuck the bullshit. Fuck whatever happened to you in the past. You training. You got cleared to fight. You 100% in my eyes, bro. He fights Jose Benavidez, somebody that was shot in the leg, and also came in there with a slightly game leg. But he still was fighting. He still was good enough to fight, so he got in the ring and he got knocked out. So he stopped Jeff Horn, then he stopped Jose Benavidez. I think the next fight after Jose Benavidez was, Amir Khan. He gets in the fight with Amir Khan, he stops Amir Khan. Easy work. I already saw that coming. Wasn't no competition. So you see where I'm getting at. None of these guys was real competition for Terence Crawford, really. None of them were. Then we get into Velasquez, the Mean Machine. I think that was the next opponent after Khan. Gave him a good fight. And he is arguably the first person to officially he didn't officially drop Terence Crawford because I don't think they counted it. They didn't count it as a drop. But he did drop Terence Crawford. Technically, his glove did hit the canvas. So he did drop Terence Crawford, gave Terence Crawford a run for his money. Now, whether Terence Crawford decided to fight that way, to dog it out with him, whatever, man. Whatever. But nonetheless, he stopped Velasquez. Then move on to, who was next? Was it Kell Brook was his next fight? He fights Kell Brook, stops Kell Brook in the 4th round. Okay, all these opponents were clearly not on Bud's level. They were not real challenges for Bud. The only ones that really gave him a challenge was Mean Machine. Surprisingly, gave him some kind of issue. Kell Brook was peppering him with a jab as well. This is the overhill Kell Brook everybody says over the hill. To me, Kell Brook was always a good fighter. But nowadays, I think he probably maybe B- C level fighter right now. But nonetheless, all of these dudes, what they have in common is most of them, if not all of them, not no really. They weren't any real competition for Terence Crawford. So next up, he has no opponent. So there's a lot of back and forth. Sean Porter's supposed to be his mandatory. Sean Porter didn't activate the mandatory. Don't know what's going on with that. Maybe that might be more than likely what happens next. Then Bud started talking about Sean as his friend and all this other stuff. And then they were talking about Sean Porter. Then there's nothing. Then there was some kind of talk with Keith Thurman. They were trying to lowball Keith Thurman. So then you start asking yourself, what is Terence Crawford's intentions at this division or boxing period right now? And my take on it, I think Terence Crawford is just in it to get a paycheck, bro. I think he's boxing at 147. He probably enjoys taking easy fights, less threatening fights, because it's easier on him in the ring. He knows there's not a real knockout threat to him. I think he's taking the easy fights to get easy paydays and doesn't really want to challenge himself to fight the best. Proof of that is the Sean Porter situation. Doesn't seem like he want to fight Porter. And then they lowball Keith Thurman because they know Keith Thurman can show him could possibly be a threat to him. And then now he didn't want to take the 60-40 from Errol Spence, when that's a lot of fucking money that he's probably making more than he would have sold more money there with that 60-40 than him making that one bout with a top rank. So I'm thinking that Terence Crawford he just wants to coast his way through the welterweight division, and he either gonna end up retiring. He's comfortable with his master. He's comfortable with his paychecks. He enjoys master giving him that guaranteed money. That's fine. But here's the thing, man. You understand this is boxing and you're going to get judged on your shit. And people want to see you fight the best. And if you're not really trying to go out there and fight the best, they're going to look at you funny. And that's how I'm looking at the dude, man. He's moving real strange. He's, you know what I mean? And so is Errol. I think both of them are scared. And I think both of them don't want to lose that O. They're both talking like they're the biggest thing in boxing. Errol is not the biggest thing in boxing. Terence Crawford is not the biggest thing in boxing. They're delirious. See, they want to be Floyd. Everybody want to be Floyd. Listen, man. A lot of people, man, are blaming Floyd Mayweather for the way boxing is right now. You can't really put it all on Floyd Mayweather, man. Some of the things, he's actually showing a lot of people how to move, how to get money. I understand that. That shit needed to happen. If a lot of these boxers would have learned from what Floyd Mayweather went through with Bob Arum, they wouldn't be in the situation they in today, unless they want to be there, including Terence Crawford. Okay, so can't put that all on Floyd Mayweather. This is the promoters, and this is also the fighters. Like Bud, I think he's telling Bob Arum he don't want these fights, man. He's telling Bob Arum to lowball Keith Thurman. I think he's telling Bob Arum to lowball Sean Porter. And he's saying, and pretty much people are saying is Bob is the reason that the Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight is not taking place, because Bob don't want to cover the cost or put up some money. But here's the thing. I think it's more than that, man. I think Bud sees something in Errol that he don't want no part of. And I think Errol sees something in Bud that he don't want a part of, man. Because they don't have the same energy. They don't have that little meetup they had, bro. That shit was just for show, bro. That shit was just all theater, bro. Real men discuss shit behind the scenes. You just trying to put on a show for the world to show you ain't scared. But then when I see shit like that, I'm the type of dude, when I see people boasting, bro, I see right through that shit. I've been through a lot of shit in my life. Listen, I've had dudes talk so much shit to me, and I see right through them that they was bitch made, and they end up getting knocked the fuck out. And it's just real stories, real talk, real shit. Or I see a dude and I know he's a bitch made pussy. He on some sucker shit. He can't fuck with me with the hands or whatever. And I end up getting jumped, broken ribs, broken nose behind that shit, but still managed to break niggas up while they breaking my ribs and while they broke my nose. Sucker shit. And then when I caught them one by one, they ain't want no more. They ain't want no parts of me. They couldn't. They ran or they locked themselves in all type of sucker shit they did. So That's the type of niggas. That's what it's looking like to me, bro. It's looking like they don't want no parts of each other. For they see something that they know they can't fuck with and they don't want it, man. And that's what it is. I don't, you know what I mean? If Bud really wanted to smoke with Arrow, you'll hear him come out and say, right now, once in a while, it's good to talk your shit sometimes, but that little shit they did was totally different. All that, yeah, man, you know, that's me. They met up and then they started, I'll bet you I put up $1 million and nothing. Shut up, man. Just get in a fucking ring and fight. I'm so sick of these motherfuckers, man. So I'm not giving them no more fucking slack, yo. Bud or Arrow. They not getting it. They both acting like bitches, bro. I don't care what the fanboys say. They both acting like bitches, bro. Cause I see right through them, bro. I see right through them. I know a lot of channels really support Bud. I know a lot of channels support Arrow, but I'm in between and I see a lot of bitch made shit from both of them. Yo, listen, shout out to E Thriller. That's one of the only channels that's unbiased. E Thriller and Bushido Boxing. Fuck with them heavy. You know what I'm saying? But check it. I'm starting to not really care for these motherfuckers, both of them. I'm starting to I said I wasn't really gonna make any more videos regarding the fight, and I'm not. This is really about Bud, and I really see that's what Bud is doing. He's moving it. He's moving where he just want. He's moving where it's not looking like he's trying to disguise the fact that he don't want to take the hard fights. So he's making it seem like everybody else is ducking him, which may be true, but he also don't want these fights either. So it's not just the fighters, it's also Terence Crawford. Look at it. You just take a step back and you can see, I'm telling it, you be like, oh, okay, you're right. Because, come on, bro. Sean Porter, he could have been lined something up with Sean Porter, bro. But he probably told Bobby, I don't want to fight Sean or whatever like that, and then made it seem like it was all Bob Arum's fault. He want to coast through the 147 and just get by, and then that's why he keeps saying he don't need Arrow. What you mean you don't need Arrow, bro? He has the belts. Did you come into the division to be undisputed? If you did, you got to go after the belts. Arrow got the belts and Ugas got the belt. All right, so how you don't need Arrow if he have the other belts? Or you in this division to just skate by and pick up some paychecks. Which one is it, bro? Which one? And I'm thinking it's the latter. You in here to get checks and then you don't really want to be undisputed. And the same for Arrow. His energy is off. They asked him at the fight with Hooker and Ortiz, hey, what you think about the Bud fighting you? I think he said, what you think about Bud, or did they ask you some shit? And he said, why? What you mean, why? Come on, man. You know, so, hey, man, y'all can disagree with me. I know a lot of people large. Someone's going to agree with me, but that's just what I feel. I see it in them. Ain't nobody going to make me change my feelings. And, yo, listen, if by some miracle these dudes get in the ring and they really do fight, hey, then I'll eat crow. I'll come back to this video and say, Rebel, I told you they was going to end up scrapping. I bet you they don't fight at all. I bet you Terence Crawford will move up to 154, end up going up there getting beat the fuck up, and he going to probably take a few fights up there and retire. How stupid could you be to not realize that together you dudes have some kind of star power together in the welterweight division, and to turn down 40% or for Arrow to turn down however percent to not make the fight, where y'all be set, but they too afraid of each other that they don't even fucking realize it, bro. So I'm finished with Bud. I'm knocking him off my list of my top favorites. I'm knocking Arrow off my list of top favorites. I'm just gonna replace him with these young bulls. I put Jaron Ennis up there now, and I'll find another one. Maybe I'll reach into the Mike Tyson punch-out game. Maybe I'll pull Bald Bull out of there, or Soda Popinski or one of those motherfuckers and replace one of them, man. That's where I'm at with it. But let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.